The motor is yours.
Mm.
So any questions about it?
I was telling
For
you,
free.
I'm a big fan of Spiro. For me, if I stand out there and I don't see a Spiro, I don't board.
The good thing they're always near the gate.
Hey, they're always near the gate. You know, honestly, I'm being honest. The reason as to why I love Spiro is their shape. They're not high. They're kind medium size. For me, I love that.
Means the comfort.
The comfort. Because when I'm on it, and actually the other day I was joking with a friend, and I told him, you know why I love Spiro? Because we were standing and the guy was like, no, I need to get another bike. I was like, let's get a Spiro. And I was like, why? I said, you see, the Spiro, it is very short in a way that even if there's an accident, I can jump out of it on it.
God forbid. There won't be any.
No, I'm saying.
I was saying there won't be any, though.
That was a joke I brought in the conversation with the guy. And I was like, I love the Spiros because I can even jump.
Which is okay.
And the guy was like, that's for sure true. Let me board also Spiro. So that's it.
But anyways,
I honestly love Spiro. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're not just saying this because we have the country manager here, but personally, I don't know. There's too much love for it, and I don't know. It's because there are very many on the roads. Anytime you get out, Spiro.
Why do you think there are many? That's a question. Why do you think there are many?
We're going to find out. Behold, we are with the gentleman himself. Is the Spiro Rwanda managing director, ladies and gentlemen. Behold, Mr. Amit Chawla, and he is going to be
I've not. For sure.
You should experience that.
Yeah, I've not.
The moment you experience that,
EON
you'll tell the
M1 V3.
difference. Thank you so much. So we are having him. Any questions, any queries, anything, this is what we're going to be looking into this morning. And we're also live on YouTube at take on this first.
Hey, thank you so much, MD, for coming to our studios this
Thank you
morning.
for having me, Arafat and Angelo.
Oh wow, that's really wonderful.
And a very good morning to all your viewers.
Oh wow,
And listeners.
Wow.
That's it. How was your morning?
Oh, morning is great. Now that I'm here, it will be great.
Most of the time, people don't take time to ask other people how what their morning was, and of course to understand. You never know. Maybe coming here, maybe you caught up in traffic or something. Didn't go well as you expected. But if I ask you, probably you're going to tell us that how's your morning, and now we know that your morning was good.
My morning was very good because I saw so many Spiro motos on the road while coming here.
Wow, that's really wonderful. So, let's talk about Spiro.
Sure.
The EON M1 V3 that you just launched. But before that, let's understand this. Spiro now, to most people who are listening to us, that's why you said even you so many out there, it has now become, something that everyone cannot, dodge.
Right.
If you're boarding a motorbike,
Cannot ignore.
You cannot ignore. If you're boarding a motorbike in
Yeah.
Kigali, it is very hard that you're going to ignore a Spiro.
True.
What was the first thing that came to you when you were thinking about launching your Spiro in Kigali? What is it the problem that you wanted to resolve that you saw here on ground?
So thank you. I think this is a very relevant question. When we started off, the thought was very clear that one, the pitch from the government of Rwanda, which is very clear that we want to have a cleaner Rwanda. Such a beautiful city, such a beautiful country. And, CO2, which is the carbon emission, can really mar it. So one is a Spiro bike gives you in terms of running it, the livelihood, which matters. So, improving the livelihoods of riders and hence their families. Because when you are improving the livelihood of a rider, it's not just the rider. It's the entire ecosystem, the entire family that starts moving up. So these were the two clear objectives that we had in mind when we launched Spiro.
To improve people's
livelihoods,
through that economic point that you just talked about. So if you talk about economics, what exactly, to someone who is not had a chance to buy a Spiro, who has not used a Spiro, what economic, factors or benefits that
Mm.
comes with a Spiro, that you can actually tell someone out there, perhaps who is planning to have a Spiro or who is planning to buy a motorbike, probably has not thought about Spiro, but now it's the right time to take on the Spiro.
So I'll try to explain it very simply put. Today the price of 1 liter of petrol fuel is about 2938 francs, whereas one full charge of a Spiro Moto, meaning if you're at 0% and you have to go to 100%, it is about 2450 francs. So that's about 20% lesser than a price of fuel. And with 1 liter of fuel, you can travel 40 kilometers, whereas with one full charge of Spiro, you can travel 80 kilometers.
Wow.
So effectively, at 20% lesser cost, you're able to travel double the distance. So that's about 50 to 60% of savings per kilometer traveled by a moto. Now, can you imagine, on an average, if I was to look at economics, on an average moto here in Kigali or even Rwanda travels close to about 180 to 200 kilometers a single day. Now, just imagine the kind of savings a moto rider driving a Spiro compared to a fuel bike would be doing.
Wow.
That's the kind of change in economics we've been able to get on the table.
That's the impact.
And apart from that, the initial price of the bike itself, we are about 40-45% lesser compared to a fuel bike. And then talk about the maintenance cost, because there are fewer components, moving parts. Hence, the maintenance cost is much, much lesser compared to a fuel bike. So all of this put together puts in a classic combination of great economics.
I can feel it, that it's really, really very hard for someone to spare away from buying Spiro. But what would you say about the durability of Spiro? If someone actually is scared of that, he's saying, 40% lesser than purchasing it from a fuel bike. And also someone else is saying, wow, it's wonderful that now I can travel times 2 of the distance when I use fuel. But how about the durability?
So I think the bike that we've just launched, M1 V3, if I talk about it, it is made for Rwanda standards. Rwanda is the land of 1,000 hills and a hill bike to ride on. But we have ensured all the necessary checks in terms of safety, in terms of braking, in terms of ground clearance, you name it and we have it. So a Spiro bike passes through the most difficult of tests of durability and safety that we pass through. It goes through a lot of innovation, a lot of testing before you see that bike on the road.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When we talk about innovation, when we talk about testing, we talk about the financial economic benefits. Last Friday, we saw a lot going on. The new product that was actually launched, the EON M1 V3. It's making the whole town go crazy. In fact, the whole country, because I've seen Spiro in different parts, even in the villages, by the way. And thanks for putting on those swap stations and empowering the communities to save. It's very important.
Sure.
So, the EON M1 V3, what is so different about this motorcycle? Why is it so special? Why should a rider care about it? Especially the fact that you talk about innovations every single day.
Sure. So I think the latest version, which is the EON M1 V3 version, is designed and built for Rwanda roads. A higher gradient, a higher ground clearance. What is ground clearance? Basically, the distance from the ground to the bottom of the bike. That is now 200 mm. A higher range, up to 120 kilometers can be traveled with one full charge. Better suspensions, better braking systems, right? A 9 kW mid motor, which is by far the best in the industry today, right? Better aesthetics, much better braking and safety features on the bike, a much stronger chassis. All of this put together is really a very deadly combination on the road.
That's so fascinating.
So there's this question that most people ask themselves, that when a rider choose between petrol and electricity, the biggest question is often, what will I save? Can switching to M1 V3 genuinely put more money back in the rider's pocket? You alluded to it a little bit in the first question, but I want you to elaborate more on that. Like, have you done your calculations to see, let's say, maybe a typical rider in Kigali, let's say he can make maybe 20,000 a day.
Sure.
If you make 20,000, how much do you save for fuel or electricity? How much do you take back home? Have you done that? So maybe you can clear the air on that.
So this is a very good question, because for every rider, for us, it is just a question of how much does he save. But for every rider, this is his daily livelihood. Not riding a bike means no food on the table, right? So that is how important it is. And we've done our calculations. If you're right, a rider normally makes close to about 18 to 20,000 francs a day. And then most of these riders that you see are not owners of these bikes. They buy bikes on a leasing model from a businessman, a financing company, an asset financer. So they have to pay anything between 5 to 7,000 francs every single day, right? Apart from that, they have to pay close to about 10,000 francs, 8 to 10,000 francs for fuel. So he ends up making about 4 to 5,000 with a fuel bike daily. But when I talk about the fuel, everything else remaining same, against the fuel, he is able to save 50%, like I said. So if the expense of fuel is about 10,000 francs, 50% of his total savings, he saves about 5,000 francs from that. So instead of saving 5,000 net with a fuel bike, he saves 10,000 net. That is about double the savings.
To make it clear, so number one, you're saving on choosing to purchase electricity than
That's right.
choosing fuel.
That's right.
You're already saving 5,000.
That's right.
Before you even go to work.
Sure.
So you're saving 5,000 before you go to work.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
So next, and then you save also another 5,000
That's
after
right.
you've bought electricity
That's
or
right.
charged
That's
your
right.
bike.
That's right. So,
Wow.
so as I said, electricity per charge is about 20% lesser than 1 liter of fuel, and then you get double the distance. So it's a double whammy.
That's
Right.
wonderful.
Right.
Thank you so much for elaborating on that. First, you talked about the new version. In other words, the new motorbike, the new baby in town, that is. I like the description. And of course, I told you I sat on it. I think it was on Sunday. Yeah, I liked it.
The Econ
I was
M1
lucky to
V3.
sit on it, by the way. But looks like people are going to go for it. The hate, like you talked about, and stuff like that. And thank you for also elaborating on the way people save, the benefits, in other words. Let's talk about electricity and the swap stations around. Of course, there's been a problem, okay, as they increase, of course, the demand for the swapping, because people are using them, increases. And they're joining the network all over. And I must appreciate the investments you've done, by the way, to see it expand, even in the deepest villages. But I want people to hear it from you. As the riders join the network, or Spiro, what are riders telling about their experience, and how is that feedback, of course, changing the way Spiro operates, considering also the fact that there have been those challenges with the swap stations?
True. So I think for us, the feedback from the rider is our moment of truth. We are constantly engaging with riders, trying to understand what we can do better. And whenever they give us a feedback, we take it with open arms and try to work on it immediately, because a customer doesn't lie. Now, you're right. With the recent Middle Eastern escalations that happened, there was a sudden increase in the fuel prices, right? And this happened all across the globe, because most of the African economies, if I come closer, are 100% fuel importing economies. What does it mean? It means that all the fuel needs are through imports. So over a period of time, we saw price of fuel going up. And because of that, the rider started making much lesser than he used to. So, at that point in time, the demand outpaced most of our expectations, right? And then we were faced with a challenge wherein we had to put more energy infrastructure. So, for example, for us, for a fuel bike, it's just a bike. But for us as Spiro, it's the entire ecosystem. We produce the bike, we create the swapping infrastructure, and we ensure that we also provide operation and maintenance services, which is repair of the bike as and when it requires, right? Finally, it's a machine. So it's an entire ecosystem that we have to take care of. It's not just that I've sold the bike and then we forget it. So for us, this next challenge which came in is how to manage this demand, right? And we are, as you would understand, we are dependent on the DISCOM, which is the electricity utility provider. And then we are dependent on the capacity that they have at the transformer through which we get our meters, three-phase meters, and basis that we are able to charge our batteries in the stations that you see. So we were always toggling with, the demand there, etc. So then we took a very conscious decision that let's go and invest in transformer sites. So we have now invested in 7 large transformer sites, which basically means transformers are there and we have installed them and we have made mega stations. What is the mega station? A normal station is anything between 35 to 50 batteries in that station. Mega stations are up to 800 batteries being charged at one single station at any given point in time. So what it effectively means is each battery can be swapped about 5 times or 6 times every day, because it takes about 3.5 hours to charge a battery. So it effectively means at a 800 battery mega station, we can charge close to 5,000 riders from that one station per day.
You say how long does it take to charge one battery?
Around 3 hours.
3 hours.
That's right.
Why is it the case? Because thank you for bringing that, but someone needs to understand why does it take more 3 hours to charge a battery? Yet for an electric car, I'll give an example using electric car. It charges between 30 to 60 minutes.
So it all depends on the form factor of the battery and the way you're using the amperes. So it's a very simple equation. If you charge it in lesser amount of time, the wear and tear of the battery will be much, much faster. And here we understand that time is money for a rider.
Very true.
So we are not telling him that you take the battery home, charge it and come back. Now imagine, where will he charge the battery if it was a home charger during the day? Does he go back again home and charge it and lose that time? No. That's why we have created this swapping infrastructure. You come with a drained battery and take a fully charged battery back home.
And with several electric motorbikes in town, and of course what we can call competitors who are in town, someone is asking themselves, right? Some people asking themselves right now and saying, you know what, why should I choose Spiro, EON M1 V3, and of course ignore the other ones that are also in the market? What difference are you bringing on the market, or what difference can someone see apart from just being an electric motorbike that would force someone to choose Spiro?
So some of the features that I spoke about, they are by far the best in class if you compare some of the bikes. Second, we are not just looking at selling a bike and then forgetting about the customer. We want the customer to be with us for a lifetime of the bike. So we are creating an infrastructure. So if you look at the swapping infrastructure that we have is by far way higher compared to some of the other brands.
Reliable.
So
very reliable.
The competitive advantage you have so far is, number one, the durability of the bike. Number two, the cost of purchasing a bike.
Correct. The cost of running the bike.
And the cost of running the bike.
Which is much better. Operational bike, because that's a daily saving for. And the fourth is the swapping infrastructure, which you will find to the length and breadth of the country.
That's why I said reliable.
And imagine how many other companies would have stations, mega stations we call them. Mega is the real word. Who can have 800 to 1,000 batteries being charged at one go? How many other people would? So I think it gives a lot of safety
Mhm.
and peace to the rider that I go here and I get my battery.
Wow.
That's amazing. And I congratulate you, by the way.
Thank
and
you
thanks
so
for
much.
being deliberate and intentional. But because Arafat, I'll be honest, despite the number, there were complaints, okay, we are choosing it, but now where are we swapping from? So that's a very good investment, and I must appreciate
And
that.
of course, there's something that he really talked about that where they follow up on clients after sell. And I wanted him to really tell us more on that. Exactly, what are some of the key things that now you're focusing on because if I come to buy a bike, after buying a bike, there's a lot that happens after taking the bike. So how do you make sure that we stay in touch with Spiro team so that not only the people who are in transport that are buying Spiros, I know people who are just riding Spiros for their own use. I think they're buying it. So what is the after sale support and access to batteries are you offering to clients?
So, like I said, the ecosystem itself is self-sufficient, wherein our staff constantly keeps engaging with the riders because they come in every average rider swaps anything between 2 or 3 times in a day. So he comes there, he speaks to, he knows what is happening in the company, what are the new models, where are the spares coming from, what are the things that he should be aware of in terms of safety, what are the things, where are new mega stations that we are opening up so that he can have mega stations in the vicinity, and also where can he get those spares. Now the best part about electric motorbike is that the number of moving parts are lesser. So there is no oil parts which can create more issues. There is no chain. So all of this put together, uh, we want the rider not to be worried about what the bike has to be doing in a warehouse or a garage. Rather spend his time mostly on the ground.
Yeah, because that's really very important talking about spares. Because I wanted even to ask you about that. Do you provide even spare parts for the bikes?
Yes,
At
yes,
your
we do.
office, at
Yes, we do.
your
So
shopping
now
points?
what we are doing is, now that we have got a significant chunk of motorbikes coming in, we are now rolling out franchisee partners across the length and breadth of Rwanda. So whether you are in a Kamoni, you are in Huye, you are in Rubau, Nyagatare, or Musanze, you will find a franchisee partner or Spiro's own service maintenance store,
Genuine
wherein,
parts.
yes, genuine parts where you can go and change if required and get your bike serviced if required. So that is what we are now getting into.
And congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about Rise Up with Spiro. When you say Rise Up with Spiro, what does that mean for a rider, their family, and even the future they are trying to build by relying and choosing, of all choices, Spiro?
So I think Rise Up has a lot of connotations here, positive ones, all of them. One of them is the more money you save, you are able to get a rise up in the social strata, in the society you stay in, right?
There'll be a change.
There'll be a change.
Visible.
Yes, it means more money on the table for the rider and his family, for his health needs of the family, the education needs of his children, right? And also he gets to save money for a rainy day. So I feel by doing this, we are making a societal impact in ensuring that the lives of people improve over a period of time. The second is we feel that the recent campaign that we have rolled out is the Tekana Na Spiro campaign, which talks about how safety comes before everything else.
So much.
How do you ride a bike much more safely? Because you have very difficult terrains, right? So I think Rise for us is very, very clear that we want to change the lives, make them better for our customers, and then also be a very, very strong partner to this country, wherein e-mobility, and we want us to ensure that Rwanda keeps going ahead in driving Africa's transition of a cleaner mobility.
Wow, I like that. So are you training, you're training also riders on how to
That's right.
ride motorbikes?
That's right. So as soon as
Tekan and
one is Tekana Spiro campaign. Secondly, whenever a new rider comes into us at time of delivery, we ensure a proper onboarding is done, wherein features of the bike are very clearly explained. Safety measures are being taken into account, and the rider is told to ride safely from there on.
Finally, looking ahead, what is your vision for Spiro and electric mobility in Rwanda, and what should actually riders and Rwandans expect next year or maybe next to come?
Or in future?
So I think Rwanda is on a very solid, strong path of electric mobility. The government of Rwanda has taken some very strong measures, like which other country would take a measure of just banning registration of new fuel bikes in a city, in a capital city. This was done in January 2025 by the government of Rwanda, and so we feel that we will be able to contribute much better. We will be able to serve our customers through our energy infrastructure and the entire ecosystem I spoke about. And we would also keep on innovating on the bikes that we roll out on the road to make lives easier for our riders and give a better future to the country of Rwanda.
Mr. Amit, there's a question from a listener. They say, now that we've promoted Spiro EON M1 V3, what happens to the other versions?
Oh, they are very much in use, and we will get spares for them as well. But the other versions, because now this version supersedes a lot of them in terms of features, this will be the version which will be sold in the market. However, other bikes are absolutely fine.
And
all
safe.
the other versions are absolutely fine, safe. They can be recharged at the same mega stations or the same swap stations, and spare parts also will be available.
So there'll be no more importation of the other versions. You're going to only have this.
We are just
new
going to
one.
have this M1 EON M1 V3 will be the version from now on.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But you'll make sure that the spare parts for the other
Oh
previous
yes,
versions.
yes.
is
Oh
available.
yes, because that's a sizable base that we have.
Oh wow!
So spare parts will always be there, and stations will always serve them.
Oh, wow!
Mr. Amit Chawla is the Spiro Managing Director, and he was telling us more about Spiro Mega Stations, Ride Experience, Spiro EON M1 V3, the new baby in town, recommended, and the best for Rwanda.
Unless the MD had one word to put out before we maybe make it the end of the conversation.
To the listeners, to also the people that, of course, as Royal FM, to have you in our studios. You're always welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Angelo and Arafat. Yeah,
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, have a blessed day, and thank you for choosing Spiro.
Your future begins at Mount Kigali University. Whether you dream of shaping your minds, telling powerful stories, or innovating in technology, Mount Kigali University has the course for you.